What's going on? This is a video on how to replace your trigger bar, and trigger connector on a Glock 43X, but this also applies to different model Glocks. There may be some variances, so make sure to look up your specific model and also read the instructions that you get when you want to replace your trigger. This particular set comes with the trigger bar and the trigger as one piece. The only separate piece is the connector. Also, I'm gonna throw it out there. I had the Apex trigger and trigger bar already installed on my Glock. So essentially what this is going to show you how to break down the Glock, remove the trigger bar, remove the connector, and then put it all back together again. The only thing that I didn't have installed was the connector because I have been bouncing back between the OEM trigger and the Apex trigger, and I had misplaced the connector and I found it earlier today. Good time as any to make a video showing you how to open up the Glock, take the trigger bar out, trigger, connector, and then put it all back together again. I know it seems like it's easy, but there's some people out there that are not comfortable with opening up their gun and taking it apart and breaking it down, and I just wanted to show that it can be done by someone who doesn't know much. There's a very low risk of damage. Yeah. Let's get into it. Alright, so I'm going to narrate this as we go along, but the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure the gun is safe. So we're going to clear it. We're going to check the chamber, make sure there's nothing there. We're going to violate where the magazine goes to make sure there's absolutely no ammo in this gun. We're going to pull the trigger, and then we're going to pull down the takedown levers as seen here. And you're going to push the slide forward and it'll come right off way quicker than the ATF agent did. Now we're going to stare at the gun for a little bit. We're going to point at a couple things. We have a pin holding the trigger housing in and a pin holding in the rest of it. I don't know the technical terms. So we're going to pop that pin out using our punch, and I'm going to hit the top of it. I know there's some people that say you have to do it in a certain direction. I don't know. I've done this process 4 or 5 times and haven't had any issues. The rear one comes out pretty easy. And you're going to see me fumble around for a little bit before realizing I got to pull that silver piece out. I'm going to pop it up with the punch just to get it started. I'm going to grab the edges there and pull it out. And then you're going to see me fumble around again because I'm an idiot and didn't realize that the slide release was still in there. So I'm going to take that out, put that to the side, and then take out the whole trigger housing. Trigger bar and everything comes out. Now you'll see that there's a little cross on the top. You're going to want to make sure you pull that out at an angle. That'll just slide right out. You push down a little bit and pull up, and out it comes. And then you're going to see the connector is still in there. I'm going to pull that out. And when you take out the OEM one, you may need a flathead to get it up. I've pulled that thing out so many times that it is loose, so it just came right out. Put that to the side. I went into my drawer and I grabbed the Apex connector. And once again, you're going to see me bumble around a little bit, and I'm going to point at the wrong side of the trigger housing. So we'll wait as I make that mistake and then make the realization that I was wrong here. Confidently wrong, might I add. So then, because I'm making a video and I wanted it to be clear, once I figured it out, I put everything down. I intended to cut this. I'm not going to cut this. Slides right in. You'll see that it fits perfectly. And then you just reinstall the trigger bar. Everything is in reverse. So you're going to want to come in at an angle and get that top part slotted right up there. And then it slides right in. There's another notch on the trigger housing side that I was an idiot and didn't show you. But it slides right in there. Put the trigger housing back in. Everything slips in nicely. Make sure the hole at the top of the trigger is lined up with the hole on the frame. And then you're going to install the slide release, not backwards like I did. And then I'm going to put everything down again because I'm really just struggling today. But that just slides right in real easy. Shouldn't be any force needed to put that in there. And then you're going to put that silver piece back in there. I always put it in backwards first, and then I realize the right direction to put it in. And that sandwiches everything together. Everything will be nice and tight. Then you go ahead, grab that pin, put it back where it needs to be. It'll just slide right in. There's notches on that pin that should self-regulate. And then the rear pin goes in. This one doesn't have notches. I know some people just push it in and call it a day. I like to make sure the two sides are even. I don't know how necessary that is. I mean, I would make sure both sides are even because I don't want that thing flying out or breaking or anything. And that's it. You're going to see me go to put the slide on and then realize, oh, I forgot something. They recommend you put a drop of gun oil where the trigger bar meets the housing. So I'm just going to put a little drop right on there. They also recommend you put a little bit of oil on the connector as well, and I skipped that part too. I mean, my Glock has never not run, and I've never done that, but make sure it's up. You're going to see me rack it a couple times, pull the trigger, make sure everything functions. I also like to do a test to make sure that everything was installed properly and nothing's going to just go off, so I bang the back of the gun. I also pull on the trigger without engaging the safety to make sure it's not going to go off when I don't want it to.
Lizard, 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 lizard. Lizard.
And let's clear it, show clear, and that's it. We're done.